Hi, you guys, and welcome back to the Small Black Business Review, where I, Joelle, sit here and review small black businesses, their services, and their products, and then I come through with story times, tips, and tricks. Story time, right? So, as you guys know, am in the process of opening a center. And the first step to this was to move my home daycare to the new location, which I didn't give you guys a home tour, but I will, to move you guys to the new location, be relicensed for the new location, and then go up in kids, and then open the center. That was the plan. Unfortunately, I I'm recording this in October 22nd or 23rd, 2019, and unfortunately, I have hit a little snag. And so I was going back and forth whether I want to share this with you guys, and I was coming up with other content and stuff like that. But I really wanted to be transparent with everybody on here because my channel to me is more geared towards first time entrepreneurs and people who want to shop black owned businesses. And so I would like to give you guys advice that I've already gained and that I'm gaining. And so this story is definitely a story time and advice that I'm getting. So I came to a church site. A friend of mine's introduced me to a pastor who had a church. As you guys know, way back in February, I met with a pastor. We decided that this is a collaboration that we wanted to do. I walked him through the steps. I had a whole proposal for him that I typed up. And I gave it back to him in February. In February, he agreed. He thought this was a good idea. And we were supposed to move in April, but he wasn't ready. And so we ended up moving in May. And even then, the apartment wasn't ready. And we had to clean up and move everything. He didn't move anything. He didn't fix anything. There was no door to the bathroom. The shower didn't work. The dishwasher and dryer was old and broken. The lights didn't work. The main important thing that I told him that I needed to be licensed, which was the outlet covers, like the actual outlet. They didn't have any covering at all, just straight wires were hanging out, even though we discussed this in February. So by the time I had got in here on a May, June, I had to move and fix all this stuff. And so me and him initially got into it then because I asked him to fix the stuff before I moved in. And he, like I said, we met in February. He had until May to move all the stuff out and to fix everything, and nothing was done. So when I came in, we had a contract, a verbal and written, that said I wasn't to pay rent until I was licensed here. So to get me licensed here and to just be able to live here, like i.e. the bathroom door, I asked him to fix it. He didn't fix it. So I started fixing it, right? I started fixing the stuff so I could live here and I could be licensed here. Once I did that, of course, I deducted it from my rent because that was something he was supposed to do. He was not happy about it and threatened to kick me out then, telling me that we would terminate my contract and I can leave. I let him know that was the whole purpose of a contract, and he should probably look over his tenant law rights, because we're here in California, especially in Alameda County. I don't think he understands his tenant law rights, right? His landlord rights and my rights as a tenant. And so we went back and forth, and I let him know that I wasn't going to. I deducted what I deducted from the rent because of all the stuff that I wanted to do. And from then on, as long as we didn't have any more issues with licensing issues like that, then he would get his rent. So he's been getting his rent ever since like June or July. It's October. In August, I let him know that my application had went through and my license lady was ready to come out in August. No, that I had put my application in August. In September, that it had came back, they were ready to come out. By October, I got a call from my licensing lady and my boss. Oh no, end of September, I got a call from my licensing lady. She said she needs to tag team her boss. So by October 5th, I have a conversation with the licensing lady and her boss, and they say they can't license me because where I'm living is registered as a business. Mind you, I live on a church ground. Okay. So I'm going to give you a quick walking tour after, but you're going to see, you're going to see what I'm talking about. But anyways, I live on a church ground, but the pastor registered it as a business. Okay. Well, he never said anything to me in February, March, April, May, June, anything. He never said anything about this, right? And so as they're telling me this, they say, well, then they need something written from the, something legal, right, from the city or the state that would show that this is separate. Where I live is separate from the rest of the place. So I walk over to the pastor. I ask him, I let him know. I asked him, I said, is this registered as a business? He's like, no, this is separate, da 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 da. So I let him know what my licensing person says, and he assures me that it's separate and he'll have the information for me that Monday. So I read up everything that was said for me, the licensing lady, and the pastor, so I can give it to my licensing lady and everybody has the information and que sera, sera, sera. So I go to meet with him on the 7th, and as we're discussing what's going on, he becomes aggressive with me and I get really uncomfortable, so I start filming. And I've decided after that I will not be going back and being with myself. Sorry, my phone is ringing. So I've decided that I will not be meeting with this so-called pastor by myself anymore, in between him making advances like, oh, I can give him free yoga classes, to whenever I ask him to do something on his property, he is really aggressive. And so I'm not going to put myself in that situation anymore because it's not safe for me. So what I've decided is to ask, he rents out this other, so he's supposed to have a church here, okay? We're going to do the walk right now. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. I'm walking out of my door right now. I live here, okay? This is the building that I live in. This is the ramp. You walk up to my door, it's right here. My door is right here. The playground is right here. Right? And then this building right here, he rents out to somebody else. Okay? This building right here, he rents out to another church. And this building right here is where his church is supposed to be, and then his office is supposed to be. So let me do it as if I'm walking up. Okay, so this is the parking lot. You're walking up. This is where I live. This is where the other church is being rented out. And this is where he has his tax office and his congregation of his church. Now, nobody comes to church on Sunday. Okay? If somebody comes, it's maybe 2 people. But usually nobody comes to church on Sunday. And here is his tax sign that he says, even though he doesn't, gonna blur out. Okay? Yeah. Okay, insurance. Got it. Good. So you walk up, there's my house. There's the building that he rents out, and there's his office in his building that he does taxes out of. Okay, so now this all makes sense. Hopefully you have a visual. So this building where he does business out of, and this building are registered under his business. He's telling me that he's not, but the community licensing people already did their investigation and said that it is. So now I'm asking the pastor that rents out there to mediate for us. Why? Because now I not only need that pastor, the second pastor who rents out the building. The first pastor is the bad guy pastor, the one I'm having issues with. The second pastor is the second pastor. Okay, so the first pastor who I'm having issues with, the first pastor that I'm having issues with, like I have multiple pastors. So the first pastor, I'm going to have the second pastor mediate with me and the first pastor. Why? Because not only do I do not feel safe with him, I also need the second pastor to write a letter saying that none of his congregation is there at the time of my business, because the children can't be around just anybody. This just isn't any type of business. This is a business where the people who are around the kids have to have a background check and have to have a fingerprinted. Okay, so I need a letter from the second pastor stating that his church and his congregation will not be here the same time I'm running business hours. Then he might as well sit in so I can get fingerprints. So what needs to happen now is I need for the bad pastor and his wife to be fingerprinted, since they're here the whole time while the kids are here. They'll be here during business hours. Even though they're not in my house, they're still on the grounds. I still need to get them fingerprinted. Because I do not feel safe simply asking for him and his wife, which she's a jewel, by the way. She's just his equivalent. I do not feel comfortable with either one of them, him or his wife, by myself. But especially him, especially the bad pastor. Like, he is not, I feel so bad. I understand now why he doesn't have a congregation though. Like, it makes sense. I also understand why I was called to the second pastor's church and not so more his. And so, unfortunately, I'm at the stage where I'm waiting for the second pastor to get back to me. I don't think that he's going to want to do this because he rents out the church from the first pastor, and I will totally be, in the way. But, I'm hoping one of these pastors got morals. Really, seriously, I'm hoping one of these pastors go, look, we should probably just go ahead and do the right thing. Okay? But if he doesn't, and that's fine, it's totally fine if he chooses not to, then what I have to do is I am going to call licensing on myself. Because my licensing lady made it very clear she does not want to come out for a pre-license license because they're really busy. Her and her boss do not want to come out for a pre-license license. And I am having such a difficulty with this supposed pastor on being a man of his word and being honest, that I'm decided I know the rules. And the rules in California with licensing is that when you call licensing, they have to come out in 48 hours. They have to come out. So I'm either going to call or I'm going to have one of my parents call and let them know that their kids are being dropped off in a place where somebody's not licensed. So then that way licensing has to come out. When they come out, I will walk over with licensing and recording, because I'm recording everything from now on because I do not trust being with that pastor by myself. Have licensing come out within 48 hours, walk licensing right over to him for them to print out and give him the sheet for him and his wife. They'll have it on documentation and then they'll have to come back out. That's the only solution that I have without losing my business, because otherwise, without me being licensed, I have to tell all my clients, and right now I have 10 on my roster. I have to tell all my clients that they need to find new daycare, and I am out of income. And as you will see in my clip, the pastor told me that I could get out by November 1st. It's October 23rd. And you want me to get out because you didn't fulfill your obligation and now you got caught? No, that's not how this works. And not only that, where would I be moving? With what income? What? So I decided to make these vlog videos, whatever they are, for you guys, these story times. So you guys could see this for real life, because nobody's believing this, and it's really, really sad, because it's really weighed on my spirit as a spiritual person who is trying to ascend and evolve. I am trying not to have no beef with nobody, really. To be honest with you, I was so juiced, and you guys seen in the other video, I was so juiced to come down here to East Oakland and create some jobs. There's an elderly center right around the way that I want to connect with, to have the daycare kids go over there with the elderly people. I wanted youth jobs to be here. I wanted family night. I just graduated yoga school, so I wanted to have yoga sessions here. I wanted to do bingo night for the elderly, like the garden. I really wanted to do a lot of things. And unfortunately, because the pastor is being really weird, I can't. He's messing up my energy. Him and his wife, they just have really, we're not at the same vibration. We do not vibrate. I don't know how to say it any other way. We just don't vibrate at the same vibration. I cannot with these people. They're just so negative and hateful. And I'm an empath, so I can feel that shit. And I don't want to live like this with these people. It stresses me out. It really stresses me out that I even have to go through all of this. It really stresses me out that I have to have other people in my business, because I'm an Aries. I don't like that shit. It really stresses me out that I feel like the person that introduced me to this motherfucker set me up, right? It really hurts my feelings, because I just met another one of my neighbors. Well, I didn't just meet him. Me and him been talking through the fence. But, when I told him about opening the center, and anytime I tell anybody, especially from this neighborhood from a long time ago, about opening a center, a daycare center, they're just so happy and so grateful. And it really just makes me sad that I won't be able to do that here. But I'm not going to stress myself out. That's what's not going to happen. I'm going to take my business, salvage my business, and get the fuck on. Now, if you guys got to go with me through the suing of this good old pastor, so be it. Entertainment. And then I have some tips and tricks for y'all, and you get to learn from my mistakes. So mistake number 1 is, just because they're a pastor, don't believe that. And not like that. I'm not trying to do nobody like that. But y'all seen that pastor with that pastor eating coochie. Okay? So I'm not saying every pastor is trifling. I'm just saying y'all watch out. Okay? Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Number 2, get everything in writing. Everything. Get everything in writing. I did get a good portion of stuff in writing, and thank God I live in California, and the laws are very friendly for me and businesses and mediation, so thank goodness for that. But I don't personally want to go through that, and so I only had a lease to live here for a year. I literally only have 6 more months. Okay, well, 8 more months. By the time, because if I lose my license, I'm not paying him rent. There's no way, dude. How am I gonna pay you rent? I've been paying you rent early on time this whole time. You messed up my license, so how am I gonna pay you rent? I wish I could get through to him. I don't understand what he don't understand about that. And if you really want your rent money, you would do everything to make sure I get my money. It's just that simple. Anyways. So then he has to wait 30 days for me not to pay him to start the eviction process. It'll take like 90 days. And the whole time, of course, you guys are going to be right here with me while I'm researching and fighting and meeting people and all this other stuff. But I don't want to do that. I just want to get my money. I'm like this close. I was going to start a series with you guys. And I probably will still throw up some video of it. A series of you guys watching me become debt free. I had just made my last huge payment and some other stuff, and so I wanted to start the series like that with that. And like I said, I probably still will, but this just really has deterred me. It really is stressful on my soul and on my spirit. It's really stressful as a Black woman to really feel like I have all these Black men around me who are supposed to be spiritual, to make it worse. That like if they were just Black men around me, it would be very different. But Black men who are supposed to be spiritual, and at least supposed to protect the black woman. Like, I came down here with $100,000 business clients and a good idea to make everybody money, because I was gonna pay him like $1,500 per room, while he has no congregation here, to make up for the taxes that he owes. So the last meeting that I had, that's when the shit hit the fan, where he says that he owes taxes. You owe taxes? How do you owe taxes on a church? Oh, you with the shit. That's why. And then, not like that, y'all, but we just gonna keep it 100 because we gonna be authentic. How do you owe taxes and you're the tax dude? The fuck? So you're the tax dude in a tax-free building, multiple buildings as you can see, and you owe the IRS. Y'all smell that? I smell a fuck boy too. Look, they come in all shapes and sizes. That's all I'm trying to say. They just come in all shapes and sizes. Okay, sis? And so this is what I want y'all to take from mine. Seriously, I'm being 100. These are the lessons that I took away from it, and I'm sure there's probably more lessons that I'm going to continue to take away from it. But the lesson that I learned is, my nigga, just because they're a pastor, you might even want to be extra. 2, just because you have other pastoral, and there's like there's another guy who is on the church grounds who, he speaks to me. They're all older guys. And I even asked assistance for him for assistance, right? And all of these older black men, like, there's like no protection. It's literally like, really? And I'm not like, you need to come fight no battles for me. It's literally, I'm telling y'all, I don't feel safe with this man. Y'all know he's with the shit, because I've had conversations with y'all where y'all like, nah, our church don't even go over to their church because they're that much with the shit. Okay? And won't even, really? Okay, cool. So as a black woman that really just, yeah, my feelings is hurt. As a black woman, no lie, my feelings is hurt. But I'm an Aries. So if anybody was made to fucking sue this asshole, it was for surely be me. Do I want to? No, I don't want to do this. As a black person, having to have friction with anybody, but especially another black person, I don't want to do that. Especially when we can make money and we can bring jobs and, fresh fruits and vegetables to the community. And I even have the neighbors coming to get the fruits and vegetables. I'll insert pictures too. But I even have the neighbors coming to get fruits and vegetables now. I even have people like excited for the daycare. And the fact that me and this cat can't see eye to eye is really, really shitty. But I need to get the fuck away from here for my sanity, for my livelihood. And if I gotta sue this man on the way out, fuck it, let's go. But I'm really not trying to do that. I'm trying to salvage my business on the way out. 1, so I can finish cleaning up my debt. 2, so I can get the fuck away from him as soon as possible. 3, I don't have to start all over again. It'd be easier for me to move. Yeah. But it's definitely lonely. So that's the other thing. Hitting bums like this. As a single woman, I definitely feel lonely. I definitely feel like my resources are really, really tapped. I definitely feel as a first-time entrepreneur, it would be totally different if my parents were entrepreneurs or they had an educational background that could assist me in some way around this. Yeah, right. And so that's why I'm always saying, as first-time, not always saying, but my advice to first-time entrepreneurs is, like I said, make sure you get everything in writing. 1. To have a savings, for sure. And I was working on that. I was paying down my debt. I'm supposed to be debt free in 4 months. Let's see how that goes, because it's October. I plan to still pay down my debt whether I have my business or not. Let's see what an emotional roller coaster that takes me on. But yeah, this is really, really rough for me. This is really, really difficult. It's really, really lonely, um, because I don't really have anybody to guide me or lead me in this way. But I'm very spiritual, so spirits and shit, they be talking to me and they lead me and they guide me. But in the 3D, no, it really, really is lonely. It's really difficult. I don't want to do this with no pastor. I don't want to be beefing with no pastor. I just want my money, and I want to get the hell up out of here. If you don't want to open no center, and you don't want to have no congregation, and you don't want to save the East Oakland community, boop, me neither. I'm gone. Okay? Now, that's what I came here to do. I came to do that part. But if you don't want to do it, that's cool. I'll pack my shit up and I just go that way. So hopefully you guys watch as the ride as we go. I guess it'll be easier because you'll just get little vlogs like this from me, moments of videos that I'll be taking to him whenever we have interactions. Because like I said, I'm not playing with my safety, with my physical safety, my energetic safety, and my business safety, because me and him are usually the only one here on this property. Nobody else sees or will witness his behavior. I think only once somebody else, but they're all his family members, witnessed his wife's behavior when she came to my door waking up babies yelling about a parking spot, which I think I made a video of that. If I did, I'll add that too. But yeah, this has really just been a roller coaster. So thank you for bearing with me. This is definitely will be a therapeutic part. I did a lot of crying yesterday, a lot of crying this morning. A whole lot better now. Just decided to use this as therapy to get through this, because it definitely is a hard road to go through. It's definitely a hard road to go through, especially to do it by yourself. But okay, somebody's got to do it, right? And you got to learn your lessons, and hopefully you guys learn some lessons from the situation that I'm in. And as I go, maybe you can give me some tips and some tricks to maneuver around. So there you have it. All right, you guys, I will see you later, hopefully with some good news, because like I said, I plan to have a mediation with the second pastor and him sometime this week. If not, then Monday morning, October, what day is it? I gotta look at the calendar. But Monday, the last week of October, I will be calling licensing on myself. I will be recording that so you guys can see that. So that way I can make sure licensing comes out and we take care of this in a timely manner so I can keep my license. Now, the other component is, if everything goes well, I'm going to keep my license. I'm going to stay here for 8 months. I'm going to go on about my business. If everything doesn't go well, we will definitely be in housing court, and I will be using this information, this whole scenario, to get me not evicted. And then I will be probably suing him from the business standpoint, because you made me lose my whole business. And then, because the pastor is not an upright pastor and he does taxes, I will be reporting him to the IRS. And I have the proof in hand where he makes fake, what is it, 1099s? Is it 1099s? Fake 1099s and adjust them. And so I literally have the proof on my computer, and I will be reporting him to the IRS. So, like I said, I don't want to do it like this. I just want to get my money, get my tickets, get the hell on. I really want to come down here and save East Oakland and bring just life to East Oakland, and a garden and yoga and healthy people to East Oakland. But I will take my tickets and get the hell on. Okay? But because the Aries in me, if I have to come for you, oh yeah, I'm coming for you. Because I'm trying to get you off of me, and you keep antagonizing me, and you keep putting me in a position that's fucked up. And so now I have to come for your livelihood, and that means through housing authority, through suing you, and through the IRS with your fake taxes, because you're fake. And even after I get my license, I'm still reporting him to the IRS, because you're fake. You gotta go. You're not out here serving the community pastor-wise. You over here running fake tax scams. You over here renting out the garden. You rent out the building. You rent out everything You have no congregation. The gardener, you charge him to use the garden. I live here. I pay you rent. You charge that pastor to use that. You have empty cars. I don't know if you saw him when I was out there in the parking lot, but he has hella empty cars out there that he charges for them to be there. So yeah, I don't feel bad for taking you down because I don't even want to be in this mess with you, pastor. Don't even want to be here. Okay. So thank you guys for listening, and stay tuned. Stay tuned. All right. And hopefully, somewhere in between there, I'll still be shopping black owned and all that other good stuff, so it won't be so dreary and down and out. But that's all I got for y'all. All right, you guys. I'll see you later.